we're diving and sweeping into a reform proposal called the Family Justice of Accountability Act, a bill that takes a secrecy retaliation against protective parents and ADA violations in our family courts. And we have the author with us. I'm so excited. All right, let's go. Joining me is Francesca Amato, a 3-time published and 2-time best-selling author, founder of Punished for Protecting, Inc., and host of Punished for Protecting on the Now Network TV. She's a longtime human rights and ADA advocate, a recognized specialist in domestic violence and child abuse for nearly 18 years, and has helped families fight this corruption in family courts and in CPS. Welcome in, Francesca. We are so excited to have you. Welcome aboard. Hello. How are you?
Hey, Meg.
Now I do scripts. I can be Meg. So I am so thankful that you're here. One of the first things I really wanted to ask you is, what is the one moment that you said enough is enough and I'm writing this bill?
Oh, gosh. Well, I've been doing this for well over 17, pushing 18 years, as long as my son is old, as long as he's been alive. And I dealt with the family court way back when, as an advocate helping families, walked in and thought the place was insane. Couldn't understand what was going on. And then as time went on, just all this came out of it. And then back in 2017-ish, something like that, I went massively viral because I did this video one day, and the judge that I was exposing decided to retaliate and took my son and placed him into harm. And that's where the first book came from, Punished for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court. I was the first mother to get my child back from him within 8 months. And then he just targets women and children. He's known for it. Judge McGinty. I've even gotten him on the New York Post and the Daily Freeman, multiple media outlets and so on and so forth, and exposed him. And I that's what I do. I expose all the judges across the country. But having these families come to me around the clock, it's literally 25/8. And, we have a whole entire process that we do. I am a multifaceted expert, so I do work as an expert in human rights. And then I'm a forensic expert in the Americans with Disability Act, which are the doors to get into these courts to be able to help families. So we've had successes, thanks to God. We've had successes with not having children be taken and having them returned in some of the most craziest and convoluted situations. And I've always wanted it abolished. I am the woman who actually said out there, abolish arrest. I want it abolished. I've done, while my son was where he was and the whole situation took place a few years ago, I ran to DC and did what's called We the Parents event, where we protested all over the place. And one of the things we had signs up for mental health evals and drug testing for judges. Because if anybody needs it, they sure do. Because normal people don't make these decisions in a position of power. They just don't. But just seeing family after family after family, and even though we do have successes, because we're working against such corruption, you can't always have a success story. And you should always have a success story in this. Nobody should go through this. Children shouldn't go through this. So foundationally, it's causing mental health problems in our country. Because when you rip children away from their biological homes, this is what happens. They become, they get PTSD, acute PTSD, anxiety, depression, and then worse things happen, up to the point of, S. We won't say it because I don't know if you can, sometimes you can't say that word.
If you guys want to follow her and go see her story, we're not here to talk about her story or my story. We're here to only focus on this bill. And I also, one of the things that I try really hard for my viewers is if she says something that maybe you don't understand what it means, I'm going to break it down more and I'll stop her and I'll be like, what does that mean? Let's take it down to elementary. Because you guys don't know the legal verbiage. I didn't a year ago. So I will stop you, Francesca, just to say, hey, what does that mean? It's not that I don't know, right? I'm trying to help everyone understand your bill.
Yes.
And also, I wanted to point out real quick, too, I have a list of questions and we're going to kind of go down. I love that. You just actually answered all these questions I already had on, like, how long have you been here? So good job. Knock that out. Okay, so
used to regurgitating it over and over and over.
I know, trust me. Here's something that probably some people don't know what judicial immunity means. I want you to explain that to us. And then after that, I want to know, your bill eliminates judicial and quasi-judicial immunity for harm in family regulation. How would accountability work in practices for judges, GALs, CPS, workers, agencies, or even foster care parents?
Right. So I'm going to take it back a little bit into history because that's important that people
Oh,
have a
that's what I
context.
want to do. Thank you. I was going to say, I would love that at the beginning of this, that was when you talked about the only certain courts have are actually constitutional rights. So yes, go ahead.
Right. Okay. So in 1962, the Family Court Act was established without the vote of the people. Without the vote of the people. Okay. I have a post on Facebook. It says the Constitution says we the people, not we the judges. Right.
Amen.
Okay, so without that vote, that makes it treason on American soil. They built these buildings, they had made this, they established this court, and then everybody's wondering why is you don't have to have be a legal scholar or be an attorney to understand something's not right here. You know it inherently that something's not right.
Right.
Like if I report abuse, I lose my children, but if I don't report abuse, failure to protect. So make that make sense in court when a judge produces a custody order and orders you to not protect your children.
And that's one thing I said when my kid got ripped. How is this legal? No one even questioned me.
It's not legal, and that's the problem. But you see, they built it. It's not broken. That's what people will say. The attorneys will even say, oh, yeah, it's broken. You have the worst case I've ever seen. They're lying to you. They're gaslighting you.
Exactly.
They see it every day, every second of the day for multiple years. They know what's going on. It's the Bar Association. They work for the court. They don't work for you.
Amen.
If you don't pay them, if you do pay them, they're being paid and they're not working for you. Bottom line, it says it right in their Bar Association rules and regulations. It says it right in there that they work for the court, that they don't work for you.
I've preached that. Yep, I totally agree. Multiple videos about that.
So 1962, Family Court Act started in New York State and spread throughout the country, right? And without the vote of the people. And then they decided to pack into that judicial immunity. Oh my goodness, nobody in this country, in this world, should have all kinds of just complete safeguards. And no matter what they do, it doesn't matter. They're going to be okay. And they're going to be judge and jury and everything else in between. That is a disaster. That is literally a recipe for absolute disaster. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I have to explain it to people because I'm sure most of the people that watch your program have suffered it, okay? Because it's so out there. It's outlandish. So, and then they ripped away trials by juries when they're taking away your most fundamental liberty interest, your children, their protection under the Articles of Human Rights. Very simple. I believe it's in the womb, but it even says in the Articles of Human Rights that is a life and that they have the same rights as an adult to be protected and to have, a whole host of rights. Right. And they don't have those rights once you walk into the twilight zone of the family court, right?
Exactly. Right. And right now, I love to say this saying, right now, any parent has no right to their own children. And that's the only thing we take after we pass is our children. We don't take anything else when we pass. Money's gone. We don't, you will always have that child in your life for eternity.
That's
and
right.
we don't even have rights to it right now in our country.
So to correct that though, and you're asking me about the bill, we do have rights. We have amazing rights. They've just deceived people into believing they don't have rights.
Right.
And
we have the rights.
We have the rights. Right. But in their pseudo court system.
What does pseudo court mean?
Pseudo is false. It's false.
Okay.
So it just means false. Okay. So in their pseudo court, they've ripped away the Constitution, the Articles of Human Rights, and the Americans with Disability Act. They do not have immunity when they violate any of those three. Okay. There is no immunity for that, but they're not going to tell you that.
Right.
They're whole good old boys up the food chain, word salad, legalese nonsense. Okay. All the way up. It doesn't matter who you go to, appellate level, Supreme, doesn't matter. They're all going to cover each other. Okay. Right. That's why there's less than 2% of appeals that actually turn over and win. Because they're all in bed together, one big giant bed.
Well, and you can only, and people don't understand this either, you can only appeal orders. So like I'm stuck in temporary land. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. They won't give me a hearing, trial, nothing. But 2%.
Less than 2%. And also, and believe it or not, there are some temporary orders that there are ways around. There's always a loophole. And there are ways around, doing that, appealing those types of orders. There's certain ways or certain requests that you can make and so on. But
again, it's all
I'm not giving legal advice.
It's all off of one judge though deciding this.
Yeah, and the one judge telling you no anyway. So it just kind of talks.
Right. Right. I completely agree. Okay, so you went with the history. Are you finished with the history side? Do you think there's anything else?
Yeah. So you were asking about what this immunity is, and so immunity means that they're basically immune to you doing anything to them. And what's the first thing we do in the bill? I go directly for the head, take the axe to the root out of the head, and immediately we go into stripping immunity because it's not constitutional. Now, I know somebody might say, well, they just ruled about Donald Trump and the Supreme Court said that it was constitutional. Well, it can't be constitutional because go back to where they did this to us in the first place, where they did this without the vote of the people, not state or congressionally, and they put these businesses into practice without our permission, making it unconstitutional. So you have to go through the whole thing, the whole route. Okay, how was it built? And it was built illegally on its face. So therefore, the built-in immunity is not
So
constitutional.
you're saying, let me make sure people understand this. You're saying that the immunity is not in our Constitution, right? Correct?
Correct. It's not in our
And they
Constitution.
put it in illegally, correct? Okay. Wow.
And then another way to back that or to support that is by basically saying they're violating your constitutional rights, your due process. I hear you mention this a lot. They're violating your due process. They're violating the Articles of Human Rights, and they're violating the Americans with Disability Act.
Yep.
Period.
Period.
So automatically, there's no
And just so
immunity
people
for that.
understand this, when you have your state rights, your state laws,
Yeah.
statutes, Constitution's always the top. It's
Of course.
okay,
Of
and
course.
I want people to really understand that.
Yeah.
It's people are like, oh, my state family law says this. Well, no, your Constitution's always the top.
Right. And all your federal laws and your federal codifications are going to supersede any of their practices, their procedures, and their policies. Okay. All of that is nothing compared to these protective rights that we have.
That we built our whole country off of.
Right. That's right.
Okay. So I just wanted to let people know that. What is the penalties that you're like, when you said you cut them up the head, what are some of the penalties in your bill about people that are going to get in trouble for not?
So there's 78 pages, I believe, in this bill. So it does go on. There's about 39 sections in the bill. Okay. It's very comprehensive. And I incorporated and I built into the bill all the laws that are already there. So I'm not looking for you to change laws. I'm not trying to give a new named law. This is federal. So it's covering every state in the country. I'm not trying to do any of that because the laws are really good. We don't need to make new laws. Okay. They laugh at that anyway. And even if they pass a bill with a new law, these judges don't honor it anyway. Okay. It's very deeply corrupted. So what we're doing is,
real quick, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. I hate when I do this, but
that's okay.
Everyone's going to ask this question. What's the difference between a bill and a law?
So when you're putting this bill in place, it is actually considered a law, but when you're putting this bill into place, it is enforcing the laws that are existing. Okay.
A bill enforces the
But a bill could be a new law that they're calling a new law, and it's enforcing that new law.
Good. Okay.
Okay. So it's being enacted so that and you can put this in your bill within 20 days, or usually it's like, I think I did like 180 because you got to get this implemented and throughout the country. That is when it's going to actually officially start. Okay. But in my case, I'm not making new laws. I'm using the laws we already have. Okay. And I'm enforcing them. And I'm also in my bill, so because I do countless non-compliances and civil rights complaints to the Department of Justice, and I always go federal, I always go US. I don't deal with the states because I know what a waste of time it is. So I don't deal with the states. I go straight to the top. Okay. But they're corrupt too, sadly. So because they're corrupt too, there's enforcement of the Department of Justice. Right. Okay. And I've packed everything in there you can think of. It's in there. So all my almost 18 years of work is packed in there. All the disasters I've seen, all the damages, the recompense back to the families, being able to go back to the families that had their children. They're gone. They don't even know where their children are. Okay. Or they've suffered in residential treatment centers, or they've gone through 20 different foster homes. And by the time somebody adopted them, they were abused. They weren't abused by mom and dad. They were abused along the way. So when they adopt them, they believe this came from they believe the story, the lie that they were abused from mom and dad. I can tell you story after story where they said dad was dead and mom was a hooker or something crazy. And it turns out none of that was even true. Okay. I have a whole section that I had Terry LaPointe author from medical, a whole section on medical kidnap and the lies that they do there. And everyone will be held accountable. I don't care if it's a judge, if it's a CPS worker, a CASA worker, an attorney. Okay. They violate any of these rights, which are clearly listed in the bill. They will be held accountable multiple ways, all the way up to being prosecuted and put in jail or prison, depending on what
Let's
happens.
go through that. Let's go through exactly, because I have it all hot. Like, what is exactly, like, in plain terms, what is this going to help a parent right now, like, and not lose their children or any of that? What are the biggest things and anybody that doesn't understand law can understand your bill?
Okay. Well, I let me just kind of tell you, when I do this work, okay, as a non-attorney, non-bar member, okay, I invoke rights in writing and I let the judges see all the laws, constitutional, federal codifications under the ADA, whatever it is. And I clearly state I am not a bar member. I am not a certified bar member. I am not an attorney. I'm not trying to pretend to be one on TV. I am not one. I am a separate and distinct role. I have a legal right to do this. I can speak in court under CFR 260B, which is effective communication, and that's part of my role. I have immunity. I put it all in there so they can't touch me and try to play this nonsensical, unauthorized practice of law nonsense, which is completely absurd. Okay. I've incorporated into the bill as well. So when I do that, I'm able to protect children from being taken or come home. Okay. But not with all the judges, because obviously we've got deep-seated corruption. So I've incorporated all that into the bill so that they see, when they look at it, it'll say congressional finding in every single section of the bill. And the congressional finding will be that all these federal protective laws and constitutional rights and ADA rights and so on and so forth, and the Articles of Human Rights, right? That's all incorporated into it. They will see that, how do we not pass this? Because everything she's saying here, as a legal expert, everything she's saying here is 100% true and lawful.
Right.
And they've counterfeited it. All of the courts and so on and so forth, the CPS and so on and so forth. They've counterfeited it over the years. Okay, and they've deceived the masses over the years, and they've destroyed homes. They're supposed to be do no harm. It's supposed to be oaths that are taken to do no harm, and instead, what are they doing? I mean, look at the countless lives that have been absolutely destroyed. Right. Look at New York State alone. It was 3 moms that committed S, right, and one that was recently M'd, I believe, we believe. Right, right. Okay. I mean, it's just crazy. And this is all over the country.
So let's say people know my story, right? I had a wonderful weekend with my kids, took them to school, dropped them off. And then emergency hearing, gone. Never even had a chance to talk to them for 11 months. Not a phone call, nothing. Yeah. So in my situation, parents like me, what I'm trying to help them you guys understand the process. So what if this bill was in place? What would happen? What would happen in my situation?
I mean, basically, it's going to monkey wrench everything that they're trying to do. I mean, you're one of. It's sad. It's shocking for people to believe. They think that it's going to be a mom or a dad that's like, doing something really crazy. Correct. No, these are. I mean, look at you. I mean, these are normal, decent, professional people that don't do drugs and alcohol, and they're not out there, beating up, taking the heads of chickens off and crazy stuff. Right. These are normal people that should never, ever, and I don't even like to say lose your children, because you didn't lose them. You knew right where they were when they
got stolen.
Sick system stole them, right? So, and I always like to break that off so people realize that, you shouldn't be attacking the very innocence of the mother. In most cases, it's mothers. That's what I've seen across the country in my close to 17 and a half years. And then I do have, fathers too. But the fathers that don't get custody are generally 100% decent. It's the fathers that are abusers that are getting the full custody. And that's happening constantly. Right. Constantly.
His father doesn't want full custody.
Well, first of all, a good father it's not in his character. He would never.
Right, he wouldn't do that. And a good mother,
Right. Right. So that's one of the ways we can kind of tell if he's an abuser or not. That's kind of our litmus test. But anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry, I don't want to get off.
No, I was just trying to get people to understand, like, that wouldn't have been able to happen then with your bill. They wouldn't be able to.
Absolutely not. There's so many monkey wrenches basically that protect you. And when your rights are in order and the court if the court followed things the way it's supposed to, we wouldn't see any of this insanity that we're seeing. Right. So, and there's also, I have a whole section on, and I posted portions of the bill, because you do have to get a non-disclosure agreement signed. We have to respect the bill. Bottom line, it has to be respected. And a lot of work and years and tears went into this, and so you do sign a non-disclosure agreement to get the bill. It's not just for you to look at it so that you can play with it. It's because everybody across the country is volunteering. So we're all coming together in droves. I mean, we've got, this is around the clock. We've got hundreds of thousands of people all over the entire country, starting chapters all over the country, working under the bill to get before Congress the 3rd week of October to present it in a congressional hearing room formally. Right. Okay. So with that, though, we have a section in the bill, which those sections are posted on Facebook. You can look at them publicly. You can share them publicly, and it is completely registered and copywritten. But the one section talks about false allegations because they're a crime in every country, in every state. There's a penal code for false allegations, which is the bread and butter of the family court, right?
Right.
So the false allegations, you'd be foolish to go about that way of falsely accusing somebody because you can be held criminally liable for it now. So that's going to start ending that nightmare. And then on the other side, when someone is really abusing children, you will take it to criminal court, not family court, where it doesn't belong. If your children are taken away from you because they said that you harmed them,
there should be a police report that says it.
You should be in jail for it, or you should have been
Right.
arrested. That
Right.
never happens because none of that's been true.
Right.
It's been cloaked in this lie. And so now it's going to stop it on both ends. Okay. It's going to protect the children and protect the protective mom or mom and dad. Because another thing family court does is if you're not divided and you're a good, happy family and they're just getting you into family court somehow from a false allegation type of thing, they want to destroy your marriage. They want to destroy that. They want to separate you from each other. Okay. So very manipulative place.
So when I'm going to do a little bit of pushbacks because you're going to have the pushbacks and you probably already heard the pushbacks.
Maybe.
And like how the funding and all this, because, they make a lot in the Title IV, right? They make a lot of money. What is some answers if people ask that question, or what do you tell legislators?
I'm basically in my bill is to completely repeal ASFA completely and to repeal the 4D and 4E funding. But we go even further because there's certain types of bonding, which would be, if I explain this would, you're saying, I want me to keep it at layman's terms. So there's certain types of things where your children literally have a cuspis number. So they're worth a lot of money. That would all be stripped away as well.
A cuspis number?
Yeah, it's really bad. It's as worse than you think. The system is, it's as weak. It literally is. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you can see it. There's I did at the New York State Assembly several years ago. I did a whole speech there, and I basically went after their own statistics, and I showed them how clearly it's the family court. It's the family court, CPS, and Health and Human Services. It's proven that they are trafficking children.
Right.
So I exposed that several years ago publicly, and we had a congressional hearing room back in DC, and that was in like 2019 that I got one. And we exposed it there, and it went as a briefing to all Congress members. So it's not like they don't know about this. We've done all these things with like protests and so on and so forth. Right. But that's good for like raising awareness. But the bill is what's going to stop it. And we're not taking no for an answer, by the way, everybody that's watching. And we're not taking maybe for an answer. We, the people, they're their employees. We're their employers. We need to sit in our rightful place where we belong. Amen. We need to take authority where we're supposed to be. And we are not taking no for an answer for this bill. This will be implemented, period. And I don't care how many times I have to go back and fight this and argue the points. I don't care what lawyer I have to come against because I really don't care. Okay, because I've had these conversations. I've worked with some of the largest law firms across our country that have tried to oppose the things I'm saying. And at the end of the day, not because I'm anything special, but I've done my research and I know the laws, if not better than most of them. And I'm able to argue my points and win. So we will win this. We will win this.
And I want people to realize too, it's not hard. You probably never read a bill in your whole life, and I had much years ago I started, but in her bill, it's amazing. It's amazingly written, but I want to read one thing off that really just touched me in the bill. And I'm just going to read it. And then if you want to go in more detail. So on section 30, and if this is wrong, let me know. Restoration of jury. So she literally put in this bill, the restoration of jury trials and independent oversight in family courts. It says this act intent is to reinstate and federally protect the right to a trial by jury in any family court case where a parent risk is losing custody.
That's right.
If grandparents, that grants parents the right to request and receive a jury trial when the state, GAL, or CPS, or any party seeks removal and foster residential placement. So this protects every human being child right now and parent. It is a minimum. It sets a minimum jury size of 6 and says no child may be permanently removed based solely on judicial discrepancy, meaning only off of one person. without a full evidentiary hearing and a jury review.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your bill restores jury trials, high stakes family cases. So if the state wants to remove your child, this is in the bill to help, not just one judge, peers,
That's right.
common people. That's
That's
the way our Constitution was written on.
that's
why
right.
it's one of our big the constitutional rights. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you did awesome in it. And guys, do not, I've read a lot of bills and you'll see legislators write these bills saying to protect the families. And I actually have gone in there and looked at it and I was like, wait a second. He literally stated our constitutional rights as parents, right? But that's it. And then, but guess who only gets to decide? That one corrupt judge.
That's right.
And then, oh, you want to appeal? But that one judge will have to, that judge will
Make
it's
that
one
decision.
judge's opinion. Right.
That's right.
And so I remember I posted on X and I posted the legislator. I don't remember who it was. This was last summer. And I was like, that's funny. Seriously. But they do this to convince you that they're all for children's rights. But if you actually go read the bills, people, you'll be like, wait a second, that doesn't do anything besides this makes it look like they care about our children.
No, we strip their power in this. We completely strip their power in this 100%, and every single underling that they have, every single arm or leg of the court that they have, because people don't realize like CPS and they're all, that's an arm, and then CASA's another leg, and then there's all a finger, like all of these people, even police officers, we have a whole section on that, because police officers are supposed to protect and serve, and that's their oath, and don't let anybody tell you that oath was taken away because they lied.
Right.
Okay, that's not true. Okay, and so there's a whole section on police officers who can no longer say, I'm just doing my job. Nope, you're not going to be able to do that anymore, because if the court order is unconstitutional, then you have no right to aid and abet and assist in taking people's children out of their home through CPS or family court. That's not going to happen anymore. And the way it's written, I know this is like a lot, and people might be asking, well, how do we deal with abused children? Let me explain something, okay? The amount of children that they claim are being abused are only being abused through the court system, okay? I'm not saying that there's not abuse in homes, but most of the abuse is in foster care. Okay, it's just like they said. They've said this lie and they've propagated it for so long. They said that children that live in a one-parent household, usually moms, will end up foaming from the mouth. They'll be poor. They'll be in jail. They'll be uneducated. They can't read. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And even churches say that. That is not true. What an insult and a slap in the face to somebody who's raising their children and doing a great job. And I know countless amount of families that have had one-parent households, dads and moms, and they do not foam from the mouth. They can read. They are excelling in everything. They're doing well. They're getting, that's nonsense. Okay. That is a lie. And you know where the real statistics should be attached to? They're supposed to be attached to the foster care, because that's where children are suffering. That's where children get mental health issues. That's where children are turning to substance abuse. That's where children are committing That's where children at the age of 18 are sent off on their own after they have nothing.
And that's what I saw personally. I don't talk about this much because it's my daughter's story, but she was going through very bad mental problems at 14.
Of course.
And I couldn't afford to put her in a place to help her. And so guess what? The state took her and they promised that she would go to a place with teenagers to help her deal with her stress at, finding out she was SA'd as a child and all this. And they promised me, and they made me give her up. And she, instead of going to hospital, you know where she went? Foster care, 2 hours away with 7 other people.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick. And then it's what goes on in these disgusting homes.
It is. And why? Why didn't they put her in a hospital? So, but that's what people don't realize. And everyone's like, the people that CPS and the foster care, they go after good parents because guess what? We will continue fighting for these children. We don't 100%. Give up. But a real parent that is actually abusing children, that is hurting them, they're not going to fight. So they don't even want to focus on those type of kids because that's not money for them.
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head.
And that's what people don't realize. The more we get out of that, the more those people will have time for the real people.
Right. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Okay.
I get so tired of people saying, well, why are there still videos of children really getting hurt and no one cares about them? I said, because those people don't go after, they don't care about those kids. They don't care about the real victims because they don't get money off of them.
Right. And also, believe it or not, somebody just actually called me. Disabled children are worth a lot of money to the system as well. Okay. And all their pharmaceutical garbage and so on and so forth. Something else too that people don't understand is that They say, oh, if you're rich, you'll be able to get your children. That is not true. They're going after your assets. If you own high rises in New York City, they're going to go after you. So whether you're getting a free attorney or you're spending 800 to 1,000 to and more an hour for your attorney, don't think that you can't have your children taken from you, because you can. Because I've seen poor abusers get children, okay, versus a wealthier person with a good job and so on and so forth, because they're taking your homes, they're taking your businesses, they're taking whatever they can get their grimy little hands on. Okay.
Well, and I will tell you, with everyone that I've since I have a bigger following, I hear thousands of stories. And just in the last 2 days, I've accidentally tapped into the Hollywood area, right? And I'm
Mm.
hearing from like NFL
Mhm.
exes and like women that are very big on social media, but they can't share their story, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you," and it's just spreading onto the Hollywood side,
Oh yeah. Oh
very
yeah.
wealthy, not just Hollywood, but NFL, hockey,
Mhm.
professional hockey
Mhm.
players,
Mhm.
all those victims. You
Mhm.
know, there's even a singer, a big country singer that it was a man that reached out,
Yeah.
lost
Mhm.
his, and so that is it. People were, it's getting louder, and your
Mhm.
bill is going to protect all of the children. And
Yeah.
I'm so excited of how well it's growing
Yeah.
and expanding. And I I know you're about to get featured on some lots of things. So tell me, how can people follow and help and support you in this? And what can also they do to help support this? Meaning, can they email their Congress?
Yes, yes. So we have scripts and stuff ready to go, but basically we need all the help we can get. We need as much. We want to beyond fill the congressional hearing room in October. That's first, okay? We want all of you to come down. I'm hand selecting specific people to testify with their story, and also I have experts that will be on the panel with us doing like the basic briefing, and then the slideshow presentation and everything like that. But
So when is
everyone,
this in October?
and the third week of October. We don't have the exact date yet.
Third week of
We have
October.
civil rights groups that have partnered with us, and one of the largest, which is over 94 years, which is LULAC. They partnered with us. It's very, very powerful. I'm very excited about that. And right now, we're kind of narrowing down the one Congress member to sponsor the room itself. But then we're inviting all 525 Congress members to be there. Okay, bipartisan. We don't care about whatever your political beliefs are, because this is affecting everybody. Okay,
Right.
so we all come together on this. But we want as many people there because I'll be in control of that room, so I will be able to call on you even if I didn't put you on the main table. That doesn't mean you won't be called on, and that doesn't mean that you won't be called on to argue points of the bill. We need them to see how many people this has affected. We need them to see every walk of life that it's affected.
Amen.
We need them to understand the damaging stories. We're showing the really ugly stuff that's happened. We'll be showing that. We're going to have mass media attention. So we have that already underway. We have that. Normally they don't do it, but because of our connections, we have that. We need you guys there, okay, to show up and be there. We need you guys. We have lots of different things that we do. We do instructions every day. Some stuff's basic, some stuff's more detailed. More detailed gets scripts. Basic doesn't need a script. And then we've
So
got all kinds of stuff. I have an exhibit. Go
you're
ahead.
going to be, because everybody I get to, what can I do? How can I help? How can I help? And
They,
this whole time I've been like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. So where can
okay.
people go to watch your stuff, sign up, see these scripts?
So I've been on TikTok. I got kicked out. Lost all countless amount of people. I had to start a new TikTok page, so I am on there. You can go on there. I think I'm under Francesca Amato, or I may be under Punished for Protecting. To be honest, I don't remember.
Is it
On
on your
Facebook,
website?
yes, I have a website, punishedforbeingaaparent.com. And then
You
I
guys,
have,
I will take my Stand With Meg because I get a lot. I get 7,000 people coming in every week.
yes,
I will put your own page if you want me to, and then I'll
that,
link it
that
to
would
you.
be that would be helpful. And then on Facebook, I was kicked out of two of my huge pages. I was completely locked out. Okay, crazy. But anyway, so I had so many people trying to get a hold of me and couldn't. So I have another page that doesn't look like a business page anymore. It's just like it was my actual personal Facebook page under Francesca Amato. So look for the active page and then just send us a message. And more likely, my scheduling coordinator is the one that's going to respond to you. And at that point, she'll send you over the information, the instructions, the NDA,
There's like a
the
form they can fill
volunteer
out,
list.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
all that, and then you'll get an access to the bill. Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, we have an active open to the public Zoom meeting. That's also on there. You can get that. And then just come and join and learn. And then I'm kind of training everybody as we go, these math armies that are coming, but there's tons of you. And this is great because it's us that are going to tell them, this is what we want. This is what we're getting. You're not changing anything in this. This is what we want. This is what we're getting. And then also there'll be,
go ahead. Sorry. So no, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
There'll be committees after this main big one, the big event in October. Then there'll be committees, and then in those committees, people can come and help me to argue the bill because they're going to want to say, "We'll keep that and we'll take that out." No. You're going to keep it the way we say it. You're going to put this bill into place. It's going to be enacted the way we say it. Okay, this is how we want it. This is how it's going to be. This is
we are the people.
We are the people, and this is how it's going to change.
Right.
This is going to listen, there's nothing more wonderful. I have a legal mind. Okay. So I enjoy this. I like reading people's, cases, and I like studying the law, and I like applying the law. And it's good when it's proper. Okay. When you go into a courtroom, or when you watch it on TV, for example, and when you see that it's done ethically, when you see that they're not yelling at somebody and they're acting professionally and respectfully, when you see that there's those balanced scales, and even the wrong side and the right side is having a proper due process court hearing done properly, or a proper due process trial, right? Where you have everything the way it's supposed to be. It's wonderful. It is so great because at the end of the day, the decision that's made is made where people aren't being harmed.
Correct.
Okay. People shouldn't be harmed by the system, especially not children.
Correct.
Okay. So that's what we're going to put. We want to reestablish what it should have been from the inception. And we want to hold them accountable for the damages. And we're going to be looking back on the cases that have been destroyed. There will no longer be a statute of limitations. You can sue judges. You can put them in prison. All this stuff is going to be listed because there's laws that tell us that this is the way it should have always been.
And so I want you guys to know, this is federal, meaning it goes over all 50 states.
That's right.
This is something to bring us back to our constitutional rights, jury trials, back to our rights as parents.
Right.
Secondly, go to standwithmeg.com. I'm going to create a page today for her for the bill, and it's going to call I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but it's going to be very top. I might even have it pop up, but in that page, I'm going to have all her socials in there. You can click and go to there. Click.
Oh, thank you.
Go to there. So
that'll be easier.
No one has to search, and then you're going to go and sign up and go see and be involved in this. And people don't realize when you try to go email for instance, I can't literally go to every congressman and ask them to support this bill. They make you 80%. If you ever go and actually go to your Congress and your states, they make you they make you only be able to contact if you live in that area that they are territories of.
Right. Jurisdiction. Yeah.
Jurisdiction. Yeah. So that's what people, when you go to your state and say, I live in this town, who is my congressman? Right.
Yes.
And people don't get it either. There's senators that are in Congress and there's House of Representatives.
That's right. Yes.
And so make sure you know all your senators in your district, in your area where you live. Yes. And then you just go to them, you tell him, you just click it, and then you just email, hey, and then copy and paste what she says, templates, copy and paste it, send. Not hard. It's really not.
No, it's not.
Bookmark on your web, on your browser, and do it twice a day.
Yeah, exactly.
But the more people that email and reach out, call, you know how much news the big bad bill got? The big bill.
The big beautiful bill. Yeah, the big beautiful
bill. Yeah. This is ours. This is our big
beautiful bill.
That's right. Big beautiful bill.
And it's beautiful.
Yes, let's get loud, okay? And again, we don't care if you're left or you're right at all.
No, we don't care.
This is about children's lives here.
It's about what's right.
What is right? Exactly. So I'm super, super, super excited for this. So October, the third week of October, people, try to see if you can go. Guys, I drove to DC on a whim. It was a Sunday. I said, you know what? I am tired of just sitting here. Making funny videos, exposing it. I'm going to DC, and I went there and I walked the halls of Congress and talked to them. I talked to Rand Paul. I talked to Eric Schmidt, and I saw Kennedy walk by, and then I went to House of Representatives. Guess what? There's no one walking these halls. They're just young 20-year-old interns.
That's right. That's right.
Or lobbyists.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Everyone kept saying to me, can I have a car? Are you no, I'm not a lobbyist. I'm a mom.
I'm a mom. I'm here.
And I slept in my car. And it was February. It was freezing. But you know what? I learned so much by going to DC and seeing these our Congress.
How it works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I am not even, they're not smarter than us.
No.
They're parents. Right? And so that's why I decided I'm going to start. And on the way home, God's like, you're going to learn law. You're going to understand it. You're going to start doing it. If they can do it, you can do it.
That's right. That's right. And that's, I love that you said that, because that's one of the things that I see throughout, like the judges and the attorneys and so on. There's such an incompetence, dear Lord, like, and common sense went bye-bye, but when you're corrupt too, you're not going to apply things the way you're supposed to. And I do want to say one thing too. So our organization is representative of all the constituents all over the country, right? So I even have a Canadian chapter, but that's separate and it's not a part of this bill. So we're covering just America, including Hawaii. I have clients and so on. So we have chapters everywhere. There's still some that we still need chapter leaders, by the way, for the bill, because, some states are just blowing up and then others.
And what are chapter leaders, if people don't understand?
Chapter leaders and like team leaders of the bill. So they're more in charge of the volunteers. So they do a little bit more. They kind of keep an eye on things. They
like in your state, you mean? Like
in each state, yeah. And then each state has a page. It says Family Justice and Accountability Act. Okay, so you can look that up too, and you'll see it. It's blasted all over social media at this point. Every time I go to my news feed, it's like blowing up everywhere, which is really cool, really cool. And then they're putting on basically our Zoom meeting instructions, and they watch the volunteers under them, so to speak. And some of the volunteers are so good that they move up to team leader, because maybe they're doing these powerful videos, like Holly. Like Holly, for example, she probably does like 200 Congress members a day. I mean, she's much. This girl's just like, she's just great.
What do you mean? Like, she does? What does she do? What do you?
She sends the scripts. She sends the whatever. Like,
so
it's
she
necessary.
Sends the email. So did you hear that, guys?
Sends the emails.
She does it on there and sends it. Yes, that's what
but a more simpler way is if you just want to call your local jurisdiction, like Meg said, and say I'm in zip code whatever it is, 90210. I'm in that zip code, and then this is my Congress member, and I want this bill passed. You might want to do something very simple and basic. I want the bill passed, and that's might be the end of what you're doing. You might want to be more thorough, where you're doing the script and you're CCing me, and then I'm responding, and so on and so forth. And then I'm sending what's called an executive summary. I'm sending specific things pertaining to the bill. Right. So it may do that. Eventually, I need to I'll have a press release ready for all the media, and all the invites to all of Congress. So I need volunteers. I need people. I need you guys to show up. More likely, I can call on you during the session. We're going to be there for hours. Right. There. So I may say,
there. I know that.
Meg's going to be there. You'll be on the table, obviously, but like others that are in the room, I might meet somebody for the first time and she's like super presentable, or a dad that's just like really has a great story, and under 2 minutes, could you please, I'm going to call on you anyway. I might just meet you right there at the door and like you or whatever. Not that I like everybody. I love you all, but
everybody has a purpose in this, and God will.
Everybody has a purpose. Exactly.
God will put that person right there when we need to have that person.
That's right. That's right. So don't not come because you weren't called to be on the briefing table.
No.
Doesn't mean I'm going to call on tons of people because I want them
for a history changing. We are taking back our country.
Come for the support. Yes. Come for it all.
And that's one thing. That's one of the things I said. I love to say over and over again. When people fear the government, there is tyranny. But when the government fears the people, there's freedom.
Amen. That's right.
And we need to put them in their place.
That's right.
Get out of my life.
Get out of my home. That's right.
And let me have, I demanding my rights back.
That's right. That's right.
I am so excited. There was another point I want to do, but I can't remember. I'm so excited, but it's not hard to act. Oh, one thing I will say, when I'm driving to DC, right? It was the last minute. I'm calling the people I want to meet with.
Okay. Yeah.
And this was right when I was 2 weeks after the whole new administration came in, when Trump and all his people came in. Yeah. People were blowing their phones up trying to get the certain people in, but they got so bombarded with calls. That's what we need.
That's what we need. That's what we need. Yeah. Yeah.
I might even put that on my
and even small tasks today, for example, small task today was email the White House, directly go to President Trump, or you can go to Melania, whichever you choose. You don't need a script for this. Little brief portion of your story. I want the Family Justice and Accountability Act passed. That's all you got to say, because that you don't need a script for that. That's just basically just to get the word out, so they start seeing, wow, why is like 5,000 people? What's this bill? I haven't even seen it yet, but at least it's starting to get that in their mind. Okay. Same thing with your Congress members. Maybe they didn't receive the whole formal invite yet, but they're saying like 4,000 right now. New York victims have sent to New York Congress people, things of that nature. Okay. California, West Virginia, because of the abuses of these judges. I mean, and the list goes. Arizona, you want to talk about child trafficking. Florida, you want to talk about child trafficking. It's just off the map. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy because
So let them hear
we've
from
never
you.
even talked about this, and you're naming the exact states that I hear the most.
Those are the worst. Those are the worst.
And that's just off of my knowledge, meaning of me seeing how many messages I get from people.
Yeah.
That's just proof that I have the solid proof besides the, the
Yeah.
data, but people are screaming to me more in those states.
Yeah, 100%. It's the highest trafficking. I always say the children aren't being taken from Walmart; they're being taken through the family court, and that is child trafficking. You move a body from one place against its will to another. That's you're trafficking it. It's not necessarily always the S part,
Right.
but that's obviously part of it too. I do
Right.
want to say too, if anybody needs help, we are very, very booked, but we do have what's called Book a Talk. It's a 2-part session. So my scheduling coordinator assigns an intake specialist depending on your case. That takes you through the whole intake process. We help people to that degree because they're in trauma. So sometimes they can't
Intake,
even
like,
fill
what
out
do
an
you
intake.
mean? Like if someone need help, like what do you mean?
So in other words, what they do is, so they fill out the form. These are paid services. I just have to let that be clear, because we do 270,000 a year in free work, and we just can't afford it. We just can't afford to keep
Right.
doing it. Free. But there are paid services. I'm very reasonable for the background that I have. However, and a lot of times your retainer actually pays for your transcripts. That's another story, which I can explain. And they're shocked about that because of the effective communication portion of the Americans with Disability Act. You're supposed to get your transcripts and your audios for free, and not have to pay thousands of dollars for them. So that pays for that right there, let alone all the other benefits you get from having us, work for you. But first, we have an intake specialist that's assigned because people are in trauma, so they can't even do their intake sometimes.
Right.
So she assists through the whole process. Next session is with me. So you get an hour with me, and then you decide if you want to retain or not. But by the time I have you, I've already done the legal research in between. I've already have the solutions for your case ready to go, and I tell you what I'm able to do for you.
Awesome.
So what's going to happen.
So for instance, I've built and written so I know it's not going to work, but I have I'm filing a writ of mandamus within my state, Kansas
wow.
Supreme Court.
Good for you.
It's all done. I've worked really hard on it. So stuff like that too. If someone's even in that process that maybe understands, I'm not perfect, but I could hire you then to look at it and see.
So I would, and not giving legal advice, blah blah blah.
Right, but you would look at it.
But I can legally do that because it's all. There's a bunch of federal laws that I would actually show you. I literally would show it to you so you'd understand it in writing. A lot of people are visual that way too. So, and I would show you where I'm allowed to aid and assist you in whatever it is you're doing. I can't file motions for you. I'm not representing you in court, but there's things that I'm legally allowed to do as an aid and assist.
Right.
Okay?
And so that's cool. So you help people that don't even really understand probably law, meaning like, here's what's going on, or people that are more advanced, have been studying like me. You could help me to make sure it's sound and good. I'm not missing anything.
People like you are easier for me to work with than somebody that doesn't know anything, let's say, for example. And then I have clients that do have attorneys, so I work with their attorneys, which usually puts fire under the attorney's butt to actually work for the client. They're not going to give them all of what they should give them, but they're going to do better for them. Okay. And where somebody like you, I would work with you pro se or seri juris, and we tend to win the cases quicker just because you don't have an attorney that's holding you back. The attorney's holding you back.
Right.
But not everybody can do it on their own. So it's like, and I can't be the attorney for them, and I wouldn't want to. But so that's kind of how that works. But yeah.
That's amazing. I want you to know too. I haven't launched this, but there's a company that has made a software program with AI integrated in, and they've been working with me, and I'm meeting with them because they're like, what is one thing that you have had learned or had to really struggle on as pro se? And so they're making this program where people can literally have, like, they're calling it a vault, and they have you put all your documents in there, and then an AI, and then you click the state you live in, and in the county, and it pulls in the rules and laws in your state and county.
In that county. Yeah. I mean,
and it's then protected because, ChatGPT likes to lie to people and pull.
You gotta be careful. I always tell people, you gotta be careful. You gotta have knowledge.
Yep.
You gotta have knowledge when you deal with that stuff.
You do. Sure. And so then we partnered with Courtlist. They partnered with courtlistener.com. You know that, right?
Okay. No, I didn't. I honestly didn't know about that. I didn't.
Courtlistener.com is amazing because it's from an organization.
Oh, court list.
Courtlistener.com.
Court listener. Okay.
They're from a freelaw.org organization from California. There's some attorneys and common people. They believe everyone should have the right for free law. And
That's right.
it's
Right.
amazing company. I'm so proud of them. But they made courtlistener.com and they made it to where any company, any software company could pull in all the data they have and use it. So it's factual. So it has every case number on there, Pacer. I mean, that's how I learned. I can look up so many cases and read and study.
Yeah.
It also has citation tool lookup. But anyway, but this program is going to be for people to be able to do this. And then you can say, all right, now show me all the exhibits I need and put cover sheets over them. And it's going to go exhibit 1, exhibit 2.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
And so I'm super excited for this company to do this, but it pulls in all the right information. And I'm hoping that would they can come to you and say, okay, what do I need to do? Even if they don't understand it, and then say, all right, this is what she said to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
To help them. Right. So that's why I didn't want to talk about that company, but I just was like, it's like your stuff. Like, you're amazing. And I want to thank you so much for coming on, taking the time. We went over. I could talk to you for hours.
I know. I could talk to you for hours too. I know when I saw you on there, I was like, when I saw you on social media, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman, I can't even believe what she's going through. And you're like to me, it's like, you're the face of what's happening to, I'm saying moms, guys, please don't get mad at me. I'm not specifically saying just moms. Okay. But she's like the face of the type of women that I'm working for that go through this, which there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't have your children. This is insane. And if that doesn't tell you right there that we've got a big problem,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like I used to say, if it could happen to me, and I've heard you say that if it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, because I'm not that person. I'm not the person that's, you never even know how to abuse your children, let alone have them taken away. It's insane. So
this is the thing. I've never even cussed. I would, even if I raised my voice, I would like my daughter got older, but HELL, I would just spell it. I never cussed. Like, I was the mom that's all, Yeah,
I saw you when you were dancing with your children. I was crying. I was like,
that's what we did all the time. We were staying in the car. I would drop my kids off to school and every day I would yell and scream, I love you. You're an awesome kid. And all the parents would laugh at me because of how dedicated I was. I didn't even want a man. I just wanted my children to have a good life and then I'll have a man. So yeah, it's pretty astonishing how they're just stealing children. So I don't like talking about my kids.
Okay, I know. I want to give you a hug. I know.
But I'm not.
This is going to turn around. It's going to turn around. God needed us to be able to help all these people that are out there and bring attention. I don't understand everything. I can't say that I do. I know the Lord doesn't like any of this. I know that's not his character. But at the same time, we wouldn't have known about it if we didn't experience it.
And I'm thankful that my story will help your the bill and change this for everybody, because it's not just about my 5. This is about millions of children.
Children that shouldn't be separated.
That shouldn't be taken from a good parent.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Oh, I don't even have a tissue because I didn't think I'd cry.
I know, that's what I said before.
About emotional stuff. We're going to be talking about federal.
I don't have a tissue. I have a piece of something.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for working so hard on this and doing this.
Thank you.
You are touching so many lives.
Thank you. And you are, and thank you. I can't wait to meet you in person. So.
I know. I hope I can get there. Like someone gave me money to buy food. I'm like, okay, it's $300. I got to pay for this. I got to pay for that. I bought $100 in groceries and I'm like, okay, I need gas,
Yeah.
So I'm like at that point where it's like, I'm right there.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can have someone help pay for me to go there, because I can't even.
I'm sure it'll work out. Well,
I know. God always has it.
You're going to be there. You'll be there.
All right. I don't like to quote Millen on this, but these are happy thanking tears now, not sad.
Good.
They are. I'm truly thankful for you, and I stand with you. I support you. And again, if anybody needs information, go to standwithmeg.com. I'll have her own page with all her information. It's going to take me a day or two to put up. Like, you guys need to support this. Every parent needs to step up and support this. And stop complaining, stop whining and say, me too, me too.
I gotta just come.
Instead of complaining and saying, me too, share this. Share her bill. Share with everybody. And anyone needs to know right now in our country, you can have a neighbor get mad at you and they call CPS on you.
That's right. And then your life is over.
Yep,
just like
you
that.
can have someone across country that got upset with you online for saying something that they didn't agree with, they can call CPS on you.
And we've seen it on TikTok.
I've seen it. My friend did. My friend had that happen.
Yeah.
And just because someone upset her, I've had 3 friends have them. So this is anytime.
That's right.
A teacher could not like you, and the teacher could not like you, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. This needs to stop, and I'm holding you accountable.
Yeah, you have the power to let it stop.
You have the power if you email and start sharing this information.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure you guys do, because you know what?
Yes.
We all need to do it, and I'm doing it.
That's right. That's right. We want to abolish arrest. Remember, we don't want to keep doing this. We want to abolish, and then we got the hard work of bringing the families back together again.
And that is the other.
I don't want to keep having the sad stories. I want to say now I can start applying all my knowledge and all my work to bringing your families back together again. Then we have the hard work of therapy after that.
I know, and that's what I know. My kids will come back, but it's going to be a long.
That's all in my bill, by the way. They have to pay for all the therapy. They have to pay for college of your choice. It's all in the bill. Everything you can think of is in that bill. Everything, anything, and everything. We didn't even touch on half of it.
No, I didn't.
I don't even think we touched on an eighth of it today. Honestly, there's so much in that bill.
We can do more. We can talk more. We can have more of this.
You want to read the bill, you're going to feel so vindicated just by the bill itself. You got to read it.
Yeah. And I know I was just trying to get it announced, talked about. And so I love that we started with history.
Yeah.
And then now we can maybe meet again and talk about other parts of it so people really understand.
Sounds good. Maybe we'll do some blurbs on TikTok.
I'll get a lot of blurbs with this too. So we'll do that next. We'll focus on other things next within the bill, because I love the reunification side of it. I love all that payment stuff. I saw all that too, but I was really trying to open the door. So we're opening the door to your bill, okay?
Yes.
And we're walking through the door, and we're going to start talking more about it. So
call all your congressmen, make cold calls, I call them blasts. Do blasts. That means just keep calling them, leaving messages. We like to call on weekends where they come in on Monday and there's 50,000 messages. We want the bill, that kind of thing. You don't have to say anything else.
Everyone needs to get on X and Twitter. X. That's where they all are. I mean, they're on all social, but they are really heavy on X. So go to on X, tag them. Send in there too. There's another way to annoy the heck out of them. Trust me, I've annoyed mine, and mine. I even had one block me on Instagram.
Oh, well.
I don't think he did. I think his people worked for him, but I was just oh, that's funny.
Well, they haven't heard the end of you, so.
No, I'm you want to go? Let's go.
You can block here, but I still can come somewhere else.
I know where you work.
That's right. Gotta love it, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Meg. Thank you so much. And don't forget, guys, Stand With Meg.
Oh, let me cry. I stand with you. I stand with you so much. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Have a great day. Bye.